Okay, hello Engineering 110. In this task, we are going to revisit the random numbers to make random numbers with different, what are called just different distributions, but what's meant by that is they're spread out differently. So the random numbers we've made so far are spread out uniformly. So we learned that we could make a random number between 7 and 13 by doing the following. This statement here makes a random number between 0 and 1, and multiply it by 6 gives us a random number between 0 and 6. Then add 7 to that gives us a random number between 7 and 13. So this line of code here is giving us 10 kind of plus or minus 3. And we might use that to estimate the length of something. Earlier this semester, we calculated some volumes of boxes where we said that each side of the box had some tolerance, some average length plus or minus some extra amount. So this would correspond to a uniform distribution of 10 plus or minus 3. But that's not always the best model. Sometimes what's called a normal distribution or a bell-shaped curve distribution is a better fit. And so most of you will go on to learn more about probability at some point in your engineering education. But that kind of distribution is called a normal distribution. And C++ has some code to help you generate different random number distributions. So here I've shown you some code to do that. I'm not going to ask you to memorize this code or quite fully understand all of it other than what it does. So these two lines are generating a normal distribution of floats. So this is the data type that you want to have it output. And these two numbers, though, are important. This is the average, and this is the standard deviation. So it's actually that same number we just looked at in that earlier video. It gives you a sense of the spread. So this is sort of like saying 10 plus or minus 3, except that it's not guaranteeing that everything's in that range. It's really just promising that about 60% of it, or excuse me, not 60, about 2/3 of it are in that range. Okay, so if we want to generate 100 of them, we would use that command there. Okay, just to give you a sense of what it looks like, I've generated 100 of these different random numbers, and the graph here on the left is the random numbers generated using the normal distribution. And you can see that, yeah, they're 10, ranging between 7 and 13, but sometimes you get a number that's substantially further away. So there's no promise that the numbers are within any particular range. It just means you get less and less likely to get that number as you get further away from 10. In the graph on the right, this is how we've been generating them before. This is the uniform distribution, where we're making random numbers between 7 and 13 the way we were doing it earlier this semester. Notice, of course, none of them can be bigger than 13. They're all spread out uniformly in that range. So the model on the left here might be a better fit for many engineering applications. So the task for today is going to be to make some boxes where the boxes have a length, a width, and a height. And I want you to make the length and the width and the height have either the uniform distribution or the normal distribution. And I want to see how the volumes of the boxes, like what percentage of them are less than a certain amount using these two different distributions. Okay,